Hi, I'm Tony Fleming, and this is Fleming's Ultimate Garage. Hey, everybody, thanks for joining us on today's video. Listen, man, talk about cool cars. 69 Indy Pace Car Convertible, right? If you've ever been to Indy, you know that it is hallowed ground. It's probably the world's best known racetrack, not just the US, the world. Everyone knows of Indy. And if you've ever been there, they still have those strips of bricks and things like that. So Chevrolet builds these in 69, 3,675 of them, one for, I believe, every dealer there in this version. Everybody got one. And these replica cars that pace the Indy 500 came a certain way. They came in certain colors and what have you. And this car is really cool because it not only is it an original Indy Pace car denoted by the Cal tag, but it's also a local car in Maryland its entire life, which is pretty cool. So it was sold not too far from here, just a few miles down the road. It stayed here with a local family for the first 30 plus years. Then the next owner got it, and now we're helping find a new home for it, and maybe you're that person. So I just want to give you a little history on the car. Now listen, it's one of 3,675 built. This is a matching numbers car too. Now you may say to yourself, well, 3,675 cars, that's a lot of cars. Well, you're right, that is a lot of cars, except they built almost 500,000 of these that year. So really, it is less than 1% built, and it is pretty spectacular. So what we did was, this is the original style Dover white paint, with a Hugger orange stripe, which is probably still the coolest paint job ever to go with the interior as well, because no car in the world today could really pull off all of that going on there. But what's cool is I also put on the replica decals, okay, on one side, and then I didn't put it on the other, so you can decide whether you want us to leave these on and put the other one on, or we could take this off if you don't love those. So you don't have to have them if you don't want to, which is kind of cool because they came in the trunk of the car. They were not installed at the factory. The dealer installed them for you if you wanted them, okay? So let's check out some quality of paint. We like to do that here. And one of the things is, like this has been painted, and then it's had some clear coat put over top of it so you can just barely feel the lines. And the reason that's important is because you want to be able to wash and wax the car without having to worry about the lines tearing and wearing out over time, okay? This is the RS SS version, okay, and that's what you would have gotten with the hideaway headlights, the great grille. We're gonna look in the back, it'll show you the reverse lights are down low for the RS package and those kinds of things. You got 15-inch rally wheels, you got power disc brakes inside those wheels. You can't see them, but they're there. You got fast ratio power steering, all right? And you can see as we walk around, it's very different without the decals on there. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure that I wouldn't just leave one on one side and one not on the other, because I think that almost looks cool too. So, but that's up to you. That's your call out. All right. Anyway, so you got the spoilers there, front and rear. All right. Nice chrome, nice stainless. You know, it's kind of a really authentic, original style car, and it's just great looking. I love the cowl hood. The stripes are just so accented, just muscular. Anyway, all right. So enough rambling. Let's take a peek under the hood and look at some of the detail there. All right, so we got the original stock style manifolds. This car's just really, really bone stock. It hasn't been molested. It hasn't had, you know, a subwoofer put in it or anything digital in its lifetime. But we can do that for you in the glove box, and that's what we do for a lot of people. We put these upgraded radio systems in. That way you can have your iPod, satellite sound and things like that, but leave the whole rest of the car looking kind of stock. All right, so the original matching numbers 350 still in here. All right, you got the nice looking battery topper, you got the Cal induction air cleaner in there, you got the insulation under the hood like you're supposed to have. All right, fender braces are still there, like all that good stuff is still in place. Overflow bottles in its right place. All right, so part of authenticating these cars is the fact that the Z11, which would have been the Pace Car Convertible, a lot of people don't know there were Pace Car Coupes too, and there were even fewer made. Those would be Z10 coded cars. But anyway, right here, Z11 right here on the Cal tag, and that authenticates the car was an original Pace car. And then of course the interior and trim codes are on there as well, which would confirm the way this is set up as well. Okay, kind of authentic, kind of cool, kind of neat, little pieces of history like that. Oh, that's good. The flapper door for the Cal induction hood works correctly like it's supposed to. A lot of those don't work. Most people just bolt the hood on. This has all that in place. Those are some of the things that let you know that this car is really authentic and original, because a lot of those things are kind of a pain to get hooked up and working after 30 or 40 years. All right, so come on, let's check out the trunk for a second and the back end of the car. Like I said, we're right in the middle of finishing the restoration on the car here. So for the final checkout, I noticed that we don't have that. We have one bulb that needs to be replaced here. All right, and that's kind of how we'll deliver the car to you, is a car that's nice. It's got the headlights working, the taillights, the turn signals, all the bulbs, the dash lights, like all those things will be working for you when you get the car. And that's what makes buying a car here great. And that's why I'm not embarrassed to show something like this, because I can say to you, hey, listen, man, this is what we do. These cars are going to show up. If you decide to buy a car outside of Flemings, that's what's going to happen to you too. All of these things, you're going to have to take it somewhere, hope somebody can fix it and do all these things, when in turn, getting something here probably costs less, all right? Because we've done all the work for you and tried to make it as turnkey as possible, all right? Okay, so back in here, the exhaust tips are the way they're supposed to be. The transverse muffler is there, correct, for the Super Sport, all right? Instead of the dual exhausts, that would be separate mufflers, but this is dual exhaust. You can see that this, by looking at the 2 bolts that are hanging down from the rear end, that indicates that it's a 12-bolt rear end in the car, which would have been standard on the Super Sports, okay? So you got the RS reverse lights down here instead of inside the tail lights like just a regular Super Sport would have had. So the Super Sport would have had just regular tail lights, okay, with reverse lights in here, and this pan would have been void of these, but you get the RS package, and then you get the front grille, you get this, and a couple other small items, okay? All right, so come on up in here and check this out. All right, so here's the rest of the decal, okay, this is the other side of it, all right, and that'll come with the car if you don't want us to put it on, your choice, whatever, we're happy to do either way, okay? This is what I would say is a nicely detailed trunk. So these shakers right here are still in place, which would have been installed from the factory on convertibles only. It's got a spare tire that's painted correctly. It's got a jack inside here. It's got the jacking instructions there, fresh weather stripping, painted all nicely in here, buffed and sanded everywhere, so that if you went to a car show, you could open the hood and the trunk of this, and it looks really, really nice. All right, so let's check this out for a minute. Okay, little stuff to let you know that the restoration is nicely done. For instance, footwell lighting. Well, what's the big deal that footwell lighting work? Well, let me just tell you, man, 30 or 40 years later, to get all of these things working is really a lot of effort. You'd be very surprised at how much wiring has corroded, or people have cut things, how many people's hands have been in the dash in the last 30 years. I mean, a lot. So looking at this car, it's really very nice and authentic. So Orange Houndstooth, fresh foam in the seats, the great orange door panels. I mean, this interior is so hot and so beautiful, and it goes so well with the white paint with the orange stripes, because if this car was orange with all orange, it might be a little overkill. All right, so some of the options are like tilt wheel, all right? AM radio still in place. That's what I mean by authentic. I mean, that's really, really cool. You got your factory gauges in here. It's got the pedal dress-up package, so it has the aluminum trim, the polished stainless trim around the pedals. It's got the Camaro SS rubber mats, which would have been correct for that. It's just really cool. It's got the power seats. Still got the seatbelt holders in place right here. Okay, which is cool. It's got the orange boot to match. I just love this color combination. You know, like I said, if this was all orange with an orange interior, I think it might be a little much, but with the white, it's just, absolutely perfect. It just looks great. I love this car. It's a great car, great look, great wheels. Little stuff like this, man, like original GM seatbelt. But that's the kind of restoration that I'm talking about, is that you're getting these kinds of things. That's why sometimes some cars are great cars, and sometimes they're great cars and investment grade also. So matching numbers, original pace car. The cow tag shows us that this car is an original pace car, is the 11, which we looked at also, and so forth. But anyway, I've rambled enough. How about I start it for you so you can hear it now, buddy? You know, as we close the video up on this car here, you know, we walked and talked about a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, I challenge you to research and find yourself an authentic, documented car that has some history, that's been restored, that's a great driver, matching numbers, one of just a few built, and you'll find that this car here will rise to your top of your list every single time. It's a really, really cool car. We're talking about things that we forget to ask about, like power disc brakes, power steering, and drivability. That's really, really nice, because old muscle cars a lot of times didn't have all those things that make them a little tough to drive. But this one here drives beautifully. Power convertible top, awesome. Anyway, call us 301-816-1000, and we'll find a way to get this '69 Camaro Pace Car convertible in your life.